framed by power. The story of Alana Green. The streetlights threw long, shaky shadows onto the cracked sidewalk as Alana Green made her way home from her shift at Rose's Diner. Her legs ached with every step after a draining 8-hour shift. The smell of French fries clung stubbornly to her hair, and her work clothes, plain black pants and a polo shirt, were stained with grease. Adjusting her backpack, Alana slipped a hand into her pocket and counted her tips for the third time that night. $79.87, she whispered, carefully sorting the crumpled bills and loose coins. Her total savings had now reached $212, still not enough to cover all her college application fees, but closer than she had been the day before. One more double shift, she thought, and maybe I can finally send my application to Howard University. The fall air was crisp, and the shops along Juniper Street were dark, their windows throwing back her shadow as she passed. She pulled her denim jacket tighter around her shoulders, feeling the solid weight of her chemistry textbook in her backpack, a small but steady comfort. A low humming sound caught her attention. Headlights, a police cruiser. Alana kept her pace steady, but her shoulders stiffened. Just a routine patrol, she told herself, trying to keep her breathing even. But the cruiser didn't drive past. It crept behind her, the engine rumbling like a hunter stalking its prey. Suddenly, the sirens screamed, tearing apart the quiet night. Blinding white lights swallowed her, casting everything into sharp shadows. "Hands where we can see them! Get on the ground now!" barked a voice through the loudspeaker. Frozen in place, Alana raised her trembling hands in the air. 2 officers jumped out, weapons aimed. Officer Grant Reynolds, stocky, pale, with short gray hair and cold, empty eyes, grabbed her arm roughly and slammed her against the hood of the cruiser. The metal burned against her cheek. Her backpack was yanked away, spilling her notebook, tip money, and a tube of cherry lip balm onto the pavement. "I don't understand," Alana gasped, panic making it hard to breathe. "What did I do?" Reynolds said nothing. His gloved hands twisted her wrists into cuffs that bit deep into her skin. "Armed carjacking 3 blocks away. You match the description," he said flatly. "No, I was at Rose's all night. Check the cameras. Ask my manager." Alana's voice broke as Reynolds pulled her upright, ignoring her protests. The second officer, Marcus Hayes, stood a little way off, his face uncertain, as Reynolds shoved Alana into the back seat of the cruiser. People on the sidewalk pulled out their phones, silently recording, but none stepped forward. Through the window, Alana watched her world fall apart. Her chemistry textbook lay open on the sidewalk, its pages fluttering in the cold breeze like broken wings. Her heart pounded wildly as the cruiser sped toward the police station. Inside, the smell of bleach and stale coffee hung heavy in the air. Under harsh fluorescent lights, Alana was fingerprinted, photographed, and searched. They took her hoodie, leaving her shivering in just a thin t-shirt. She was thrown into a holding cell with 3 other tired-looking women, their faces blank and worn down. "Can I make a phone call?" Alana finally asked an officer during a shift change. "You'll get one eventually," he said with a sneer, walking away. Time dragged on. The bright, unchanging lights made it impossible to tell if it was night or day. Finally, a rumpled public defender showed up. "I'm Gavin Pierce," he said without meeting Alana's eyes. "We need to get ready for your hearing." "I'm innocent," Alana said quickly. "I was at work. We'll figure out a plan," he cut her off, speaking fast. "No time now." The next morning, Alana shuffled into court still wearing her stained diner uniform. Judge Raymond Caldwell sat high above at the bench, his silver hair shining in the morning sun, his eyes as cold as stone. The prosecutor dramatically listed the charges: armed carjacking, scaring an innocent victim, and running from the scene. When Pierce tried to ask for more time to gather proof, like security footage from Rose's Diner and time card records, Judge Caldwell interrupted him sharply. The victim identified the defendant. The evidence is clear, Caldwell said. Alana couldn't hold back. Her voice broke through the courtroom. I was at work. You can ask. Silence! Caldwell barked. In one quick, cruel moment, he sentenced Alana to 5 years in juvenile detention. From the gallery, Alana's mother, Deidre Green, screamed. Her little sister, Mia, stood frozen next to her, clutching their mother's hand. But Mia wasn't ready to give up. As the officers dragged Alana away, Mia snatched her mother's phone and made a call. Daddy, Mia's voice trembled. The courtroom grew quiet. Suddenly, the doors burst open. U.S. Attorney General Julian Green stormed in, his presence crackling like a summer thunderstorm. Release my daughter, Julian said, his voice cutting through the room. Judge Caldwell's smirk vanished. He straightened in his seat, his knuckles turning white on the bench. Mr. Green, this is my courtroom, Caldwell said, trying to sound in control. Your position holds no authority here. Julian's cold, steady stare didn't waver. Then you won't mind if I make this case my personal mission. For a second, panic flashed across Caldwell's face. Remove the defendant, he barked to the officers. But Julian's look was a silent promise. This isn't over. Outside, reporters swarmed Julian. Attorney General Green, is your daughter innocent? They shouted, cameras flashing and microphones shoved toward him. That evening, at home, Julian and his legal team worked non-stop. But everywhere they turned, doors slammed shut. Witnesses backed out. Evidence disappeared. Court clerks lost important files. Someone powerful was pulling the strings. Finally, Julian made one more call. Maya Sterling, he said to the investigative journalist on the other end. I need your help. The next few days were chaos. Maya dug deep, uncovering emails, money records, and whistleblower testimony. It was worse than anyone thought. Judge Caldwell wasn't just corrupt. He was part of a scheme with private juvenile detention centers, earning money for every kid he locked away. Maya's explosive article hit the news. Headlines screamed, "Private prisons pay judges, juvenile injustice exposed." Protests exploded across the city. Federal investigations began. In his chambers, Caldwell shredded documents desperately. But the evidence against him was massive. Secret bank accounts, kickbacks, quotas. Meanwhile, Alana suffered inside Greystone Juvenile Detention Center. Warden Max Draper ran the place like a prison fortress. Alana faced freezing nights, cruel guards, and constant humiliation. Her cellmate Sasha King showed her how to survive. Keep your head down, Sasha whispered. Fight when it matters. But when Officer Burke beat Alana in the yard, it nearly broke her spirit. They tried to silence her. They failed. Julian and Mia built an ironclad case. Nathan Brody, a former guard, came forward with logbooks and security videos. Everything started connecting. Public anger exploded. The final piece came when Julian's team found gas station footage showing 2 white teenagers stealing the car Alana had been blamed for taking, just in time, before Caldwell's people could destroy it. A federal judge overturned Alana's conviction. She was released into her mother's and Mia's waiting arms. Caldwell was arrested, facing charges of corruption, conspiracy, and abuse of power. Draper and Burke were also taken down. But Alana's story didn't end there. She enrolled in Howard University's pre-law program, her goal crystal clear, to fight for kids who had been forgotten and hurt by the system. Letters from Sasha, still trapped inside Greystone, reminded her of the work ahead. At graduation, Alana stood tall. Her diploma wasn't just a piece of paper. It was proof that they hadn't broken her. Her first case? A class-action lawsuit against the same private prison company that had profited off her pain. I'm not here just for me, she said to a room full of young activists. I'm here for every kid still trapped in that system. The fight wasn't over. It was just beginning.